Hello English-speaking world, all the German learners, I greet you. Today we'll be looking at the imperative. If you use this grammar, the sentence becomes a request or an order. It works like this. Start the sentence with the stem of verb 1 and drop the subject. The stem is the verb infinitive without the en at the end. For example, frag den Lehrer. Ask the teacher. Schreib einen Brief. Write a letter. If you want to address more than one person with a request, then you have to add a T to the verb. For example, frag den Lehrer. Schreibt einen Brief. Easy, right? By the way, in the singular, you can always add an E to the end to make it sound friendlier and smoother. For example, frage den Lehrer. Schreibe einen Brief. In the plural, this smoothness E is outdated. You might see it in old texts though. Fraget den Lehrer. Lebet tugendhaft. Live virtuously. Now, there is an exception to this rule with some strong verbs. Some strong verbs have an irregular stem in the singular. If that's the case, you have to use this stem instead of the regular one. For example, werfen, to throw. Ich werfe, du wirfst, er wirft. Wir werfen, ihr werft, sie werfen. You see, the second and the third form are irregular. The irregular stem is wirf. So the imperative form is also wirf. If you don't know what the irregular stem is, just take the third person singular and remove the T. That is the stem. As this irregular stem only occurs in the singular, this exception does not affect the plural imperative. By the way, the imperative form for the three irregular verbs, sein, haben, and werden, are sei, habe, werde. And the plural forms are seid, habt, werdet. Now, if you want to make a polite request, which means you're addressing the other person with Sie instead of du, then you need to use a different method. But don't worry, this method is even easier than the other one. Take a normal sentence and flip subject and verb. It looks just like a question without a question mark. For example, Sie fragen den Lehrer. You ask the teacher. Fragen Sie den Lehrer? Do you ask the teacher? Fragen Sie den Lehrer. Ask the teacher. Sie schreiben einen Brief. You write a letter. Schreiben Sie einen Brief? Do you write a letter? Schreiben Sie einen Brief. Write a letter. This form is both singular and plural. The imperative often comes with these two words, bitte and mal. Bitte means please, which makes the request more polite. And mal, or einmal, usually means once, but it just makes the request more subtle or friendly. For example, schreiben Sie bitte einen Brief. Write a letter, please. Frag mal den Lehrer. Why don't you ask the teacher? Geh heute mal früher nach Hause. Why don't you go home earlier today? Bitte gib mir mal den Stift. Please give me the pen. Bitte and mal come at the modal element position of the sentence. For more information on sentence structure, please watch my word order tutorial. If you want to emphasize the element of politeness a little, you can put bitte at the beginning of the sentence. For example, bitte schreiben Sie einen Brief. Well, that's the imperative. Now you can make requests and orders. let me give you a little bonus information. In some languages, the imperative form sounds like a military order, very harsh and strict. In German, that is not the case. If you want to know the harsh, impolite, military grammar for orders, it works like this. You would deny the other person the respect of forming a sentence. You would use the infinitive form of the verb without a subject or any articles and put the verb at the very end of the sentence. So pretty much like you would write down your vocabulary. For example, hinsetzen, sit down, sofort stehen bleiben, stop right away, nicht reden, don't talk, Helm aufsetzen, put on the helmet. You might hear it in a movie or see it written on a sign which says that something is forbidden, but you should never use it. Should you ever hear it in real life, that means you're in a very strict situation or in big trouble. Anyway, that's pretty unlikely. So let's repeat what we've learned. The imperative form is used for requests and orders. Start the sentence with the stem and drop the subject. An E can make the singular form sound smoother or nicer. In the plural, add a T to the stem. If a strong verb comes with an irregular stem, use this stem instead. For polite requests, address someone with Sie and flip verb and subject. You can add bitte to make a request more polite and mal to make it sound nicer. This is not part of the imperative grammar, but a harsh military order comes without a subject, articles, and conjugation, and has the verb at the very end. Alright, that's it for today. Now you can make requests and orders. Should you have any questions, write them in the comments and I will try to answer them. As always, like and share this video und vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit.